Hey there, my little friends. Are you ready for a new adventure? Then let's go to Egypt today, where we will learn about patience and forgiveness. Once upon a time in Egypt, there was a man who had 12 sons and one of them was called Joseph. Do you remember him from our previous videos? Joseph's father loved him very much and gave him a beautiful coat of many colors. Can you imagine how happy Joseph must have been? But Joseph's brothers were envious of him because their father always praised him and told him how proud he was of him. One day when their father was away, Joseph's brothers decided to get rid of him. They took his coat and threw it into a deep pit. Then they came up with a plan and sold him to some merchants who took him to Egypt. Joseph's father was heartbroken when he found out what his sons had done. Oh, no, his beloved son was gone. And all this time, Joseph didn't know that his father was looking for him. He missed his family so much. And even though many people offered him kindness and friendship, he refused until his father came for him. When Joseph's father got older, he couldn't find Joseph anywhere. So, he sent his sons to look for him. But guess what? Joseph's brothers saw him in the distance and thought, "Hey, this is our chance to get rid of him once and for all." So they started running as fast as they could away from him. But Joseph wasn't scared at all. Why? Because he knew that God was with him. As they ran, Joseph called out to them, "Hey brothers, why are you trying to kill me? I only want to tell you that God has given me this dream." But they just kept running. Oh, Joseph was sad that his brothers wanted to kill him. But then he remembered what his father taught him. You should never hold on to anger or hate, but always forgive those who are sorry for what they did wrong. So Joseph forgave them right then and there. And even though he knew that they had treated him badly, he still loved them. But after some time, Joseph's brothers felt bad about what they had done to him. They came back and asked him for forgiveness. But Joseph was still angry at them. You see, even if someone does something bad to us, we don't have to keep holding on to our anger. We can choose to forgive them, but we don't have to forget what they did. So Joseph said to his brothers, "I will never forget what you did to me, but I will forgive you." And that's exactly what he did. Joseph became the ruler of Egypt, and later his brothers came to him for help because there was a famine in the land and they needed food. Joseph helped them without even recognizing them. And when they finally told him who they were, he wasn't angry or bitter. Instead, he welcomed them happily and gave them food. Well, that's amazing. And do you know what? His brothers were shocked because they couldn't believe that he was so kind to them after all the bad things they had done to him. Joseph taught us that it's important to be honest, kind, and patient. And most importantly, he showed us the true meaning of forgiveness. Sometimes we might feel hurt by other people, but it's not good to hold on to our anger. Instead, we should try to understand why they did bad things and forgive them. Of course, this doesn't mean that we should let other people mistreat us, but when they apologize, we should be willing to forgive them. Remember, my little friends, when someone says they're sorry, it's important to forgive them and show them kindness. Let's practice being kind to others, just like Joseph did. Now let us take a look at some of the incredible values and lessons we learned from Joseph's story. The first lesson is to always remain calm, no matter what problems you face. It's easy to get upset when bad things happen, but we need to stay calm to find solutions. Joseph was patient when his brothers threw him into the well. He didn't panic or blame them. Instead, he waited for his father to come and rescue him. The second lesson is to control your emotions. When we feel strong emotions like anger, it's important to take a moment to think before we act. Joseph could have been angry and hateful towards his brothers, but he chose to forgive them instead. That shows us that we can choose how we react to difficult situations. The third lesson is to never lose hope. Even when Joseph was sold into slavery, he never gave up hope. He believed that one day he would be reunited with his father. And in the end, he was right. This teaches us that no matter how bad things may seem, we should never lose hope. The fourth lesson is to be honest and humble. Joseph was honest with the people around him, even when he was in prison. He didn't pretend to be someone he wasn't. And when he became the ruler of Egypt, he remained humble and didn't forget where he came from. The fifth lesson is to be grateful for what you have. Joseph was grateful for the people who showed him kindness, like Potiphar, the man who took him in and treated him like a son. Gratitude helps us appreciate the good things in our lives and makes us happier. The sixth lesson is to be forgiving. Joseph forgave his brothers even though they did terrible things to him. Forgiveness doesn't mean that we agree with what someone did, but we release our anger and hatred towards them. Joseph showed us that forgiveness is the best way to heal our broken relationships. Now let's talk about some interesting questions related to Joseph's story. Question No. 1. Why do you think Joseph's brothers were envious of him? Well, Joseph's brothers were envious of him because their father loved him more than any of them. And whenever he praised Joseph, they felt left out and angry. Question number 2. How do you think Joseph felt when his brothers came to him after so many years? When his brothers came to him, Joseph was surprised and probably had mixed feelings. On one hand, he was happy to see them again. But on the other hand, he also remembered all the bad things they had done to him. Question No. 3. What would you have done if you were Joseph? If I were Joseph, I would have tried to understand why my brothers hated me so much. And even though it would have been hard, I would have forgiven them because holding on to anger and hate would not make me happy. Question No. 4. Why is it important to forgive others? It's important to forgive others because holding on to anger and hatred only hurts us. When we forgive, we set ourselves free from negative feelings and can move forward in life with a clear heart. Question number 5. What are some ways we can show gratitude in our daily lives? There are many ways we can show gratitude in our daily lives. We can say thank you to people who help us. We can pray or meditate to connect with a higher power. And we can also enjoy the beauty around us, such as nature or music. My dear children, these are some of the valuable life lessons we learned from Joseph's story. Remember to stay calm, control your emotions, never lose hope, be honest and humble, be grateful, and always strive to forgive others. Let's put these lessons into practice every day and make the world a better place. And now I want to ask you a question. What other lessons have you learned from Joseph's story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on our new stories. See you next time. Bye-bye.